does it say that? Oh, I think it's live intro. Ah, shit. Oop. I think this needs to come down more. Wrong one. Check, 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 check. Turn you up slightly a little bit so I don't have to sit so close. Trying something new, sitting further away. Oof. Also, I apologize anybody watching on live. It says that we're waiting for the verdict. I completely forgot to change my intro because I haven't gone live since the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, like 2 months ago, so that's why it says that. Alright, go ahead and record my intro real quick. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today is Mom Monday, and we'll be doing a series of questions and rants from an anonymous Facebook mom page. As usual, there won't be any usernames, as this page is all anonymous and public. If you have a parental question or rant you'd like my opinion on, feel free to contact me via any of my social media located in the description. You will always remain anonymous unless you tell me otherwise. I'll see y'all right after this ad. Oh, thank you for the likes. I wasn't expecting to actually get any. Thank you. I wish I could share it so that way you guys could hear what I'm doing, but... Okay, making sure. And I'm just recording. I've never done this before. I just thought this would be something fun to do for TikTok, so I've got my old phone set up since I usually do everything from my phone. I always forget what episode I'm on. That's how together I have this. Constantly forgetting what episode I'm on. Episode 6. Yeah. If I can spell right. I'm gonna bring you guys down a little bit more. Oh. Shit. Oof. Sorry. Insert ad. I'm waiting for it to process a little bit before I start the main part of my stuff. I thought this would be something fun to do to get my podcast out there a little bit more. Thank you again for the likes. Wow, we're already over 400. I'm bizarre. I've never gotten any of these without like help. The hell do you mean? Oh, that's cool. It gives me a bigger version of what everyone's saying. That's neat. Well, thank you. That's cool. I might actually do that. That way I can actually look up and see what I'm... Alright, that is prepared. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start the main part now. So... Alright, so I am doing something a little bit different with this episode. I am actually live on TikTok right now. So this is a little different for me, so if I make any like random comments that doesn't seem like it's going along with what I'm reading, that's basically what it is. But we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm trying to get adjusted because apparently my cord is being weird today. Alright, we're gonna go and get into the first one. Was I wrong to expect my boyfriend to buy my kids food too? As usual, I kind of make an assumption. I'm kind of saying this for TikTok, I guess, because I've never gone live while recording before, and I've got hair everywhere. I always make an assumption after reading the original insert. I've seen this on TikTok a few times where like people are getting pissed off because they've got multiple baby daddies and the baby daddy only buys for their kid, not all of their baby mama's kids. And I think as long as the guy is providing for his kid, then you're kind of on your own. Like, it depends, again, I think it kind of depends on how long the relationship has been going on, anything like that. But yes, so I guess we will read on and see what's going on. I've been dating a guy for a year. He moved in with me at the beginning of our relationship, and we split the bills. My 3 children live at home, and we get his son 8 days out of the month due to my boyfriend's work schedule. This past Friday, we got into a big argument. He was working an hour away, and that day he brought his son to work with him. On the way home, he stopped at McDonald's to buy his son food. I was upset that he bought his son food and not my kids. He didn't even offer to. I always include his son as one of my own children. I do not treat him any different than I do my own kids. We got into an argument because this wasn't the first time this has happened, and I've expressed my feelings to him about it already. I was mad, so I left to go to the bar to play darts. People actually do that? Like, people actually leave in the middle of a fight and go to a bar to fucking play darts? Wow, I've never actually seen, like, I've never heard or seen anybody, like, admit to that without, without it being in a movie. Like, that's like, that's like Montana Bar 101 is you go and hang out in a bar and shoot darts. Like, isn't that, like, a thing? Like, wow. Okay, apparently that really is a thing. I thought it was just, like, a movie type, like, trope or something like that. Okay, it was innocent. When I cooled down, I went home. We didn't talk the next day. That night, I went to the casino with my girlfriends, and when I got home, he was packing his vehicle with his things. When he came back, he got everything out of the house, but he said he'd be back the next day with a trailer to get the bigger stuff that was outside. He never came back. It's been 3 days. He changed his status on Facebook to single, but he never changed his profile or background picture of us. I love him and miss him terribly. I've reached out to him a few times with no reply. My question is, was I wrong for expecting him to buy my kids food when he bought his son's? Also, should I move on? I don't know what to do. Okay, so I guess the main part of this is the fact that y'all have been together a year. And I don't think, it sounds like you guys have never had the conversation of where each other stands in your child's life. Because honestly, to be fair, you're kind of doing wifey shit without the wifey pay. As basic and as shitty as that probably sounds, that's basically what you're doing. You're doing the wifey shit without, you know, needing to. And that's great. I understand. I am the exact same way. And, like, I'm always the one that goes above and beyond in relationships. I am always the one that I feel like I put in the most effort, the most work, and it has always fucked me over. Well, almost always. I have learned to do better at that kind of thing. I don't really have to worry about it anymore, but it mostly, like, now resonates with, like, friends and stuff like that for me. But it sounds like y'all broke up. And it doesn't matter that he hasn't changed, like, the background picture on Facebook. He's a man, okay? Chances are he's not really going to change it, because chances are he doesn't think about that shit. He knows that, if anything, he knows that leaving the Facebook picture of y'all two up and changing his Facebook status to single is going to make you continue to ask him what the fuck's going on. Like, you know, why aren't you guys together? Why aren't you guys, or like, why did he leave? Like, he left. Plain and simple. He's taken his shit, most of it, and moved on. Also, speaking of which, I would look into your state's laws when it comes to stuff like that, because I know here where I live in Iowa, if somebody leaves their things on your property for 30 days, it becomes your property. And you are free to do with it what you want, whether it's sell it, throw it out, burn it, like, it does not matter. You are free to do what you want with it. So I would definitely look into that, so that way there's nothing, like, he can't take you to court later on, like, let's say, like, it's the same where you are from, and 30 days pass, you get rid of his shit, you know, sell it, burn it, throw it away, whatever cathartic way you need to take to move on. As for the whole fight, I feel like this is kind of a petty thing to fight about. Like, when it comes to my husband, I treated his kids that he had before me. Well, that's a long story, but I treated the kids that he had before we got together, before we got back together, like my own. Because that's, you know, for me, that's just what you do. The children are innocent. And I understand that you treated his son like he was one of your own, but maybe he honestly just wasn't ready for that. Like, he wasn't ready for the responsibilities that come with, you know, just being a dad to more than just his one child. And that's honestly quite the possibility. Like, he may just not be ready for those responsibilities yet. And instead of just packing up, moving his shit, not even having a conversation, like, the fact that y'all didn't even have a breakup conversation about this is, one, bizarre to me. Like, I can't believe that you guys didn't even have a breakup conversation. Like, you went to the bar to cool off, which, that's completely valid. Arguing while you're angry never ends well for anybody. Just flat out. It does not end well for anyone. So yeah, but the fact that he took that opportunity to just move out, I personally feel like he was waiting for an excuse to be able to do this. So honestly, I think for your mental health, it would be best if you moved on. That's what I'm going to say for that one. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. This girl I never met sent me a good photo of my own house. Advice? Bitch, it sounds like you got a stalker, for one, because not only would I call the police, I would also probably block the shit out of that number and panic and, like, close all the windows in my house and sit there with my gun at the front door pointed, like, all right, who's gonna show up? Because that's scary. Moved to a new state in April, and a girl from our small town added me around June. First reach out was her asking me to teach her how to make freshies. I own a small business making them. I have no idea what the fuck that is. I'm assuming it's some sort of air freshener. No idea. Then it turned into her basically sending me a Google Map picture of where I live. Yes, it escalated this quickly, which we live in a tiny town, so I just tried to brush it off. This was all June 19th, June 20, or all on June 19th. June 22nd rolls around, and she's asking what I'm doing Friday afternoon and if I'd watch her kids. This is like a fucking roller coaster. There are ups and downs, and I am very confused. Oh, mind you, we've never met. I said I can't, as we did have weekend plans. 2 hours go by, and she says, what about Saturday? Sorry, we have weekend plans. We really did, as we closed on our house June 30th, and I had stuff to get done before then. July 2nd rolls around. I saw you today. Me? Where? LOL. At the Dollar General. Oh, LOL, like, could have said hello. LOL, I didn't either see her or didn't recognize her. Monday, she messages me, asking if I need clothes. My son size. No, not really. Maybe find someone in need. And if nobody takes them, I'll take them. Which then led to her talking down on her stepson. I thought she only had a daughter, so when she asked about clothes, I mentioned if she had other kids. Anyways, she wants to go on and on about how awful this kid is, which is really sad because I was that stepdaughter, quote unquote, growing up, and it just hit me kind of hard. Well, now this morning, I get another message asking what I'm doing today and that she's exhausted and just needs a break/sleep. It blows my mind that she's asking me to babysit when she's never met me and showing me where I live. I feel as if she just wants a friend, and it's probably all harmless, but I don't know. I keep thinking I should invite her over, but I don't know. I also really don't want to watch her kids. Yes, that may sound rude, but I've had family members overuse my ability to say no when they've asked, and I just don't want to go down that path again. We both have no family here, so I get that it's not easy. I don't know what I'm really getting at or hoping for. Maybe just an outsider's point of view. First off, the second some random ass bitch sends me a picture of my own damn house, the bitch is getting blocked. There is no, like, I don't care about small town shit. I don't give a crap about small town fucking drama. A bitch sends you a picture of your own house, you block her. You don't entertain the idea of watching her kids. You just say no. Who the fuck asked somebody that they've never even met to watch their kids anyway? That is like psychopath behavior to me. I don't understand it. I cannot comprehend the idea of asking somebody I have never personally met to watch my children. That's just not in the cards for me. I couldn't do it. I would not do it. That's crazy. Yeah, like, who does that, for one? All the other things, like her texting you, saying that she saw you, but not coming up and saying hi. Again, this sounds like a stalker to me. Like, this is almost stalker behavior, but, like, now I understand why people sit here and are like, oh, you know, like, this is, like, I understand why shit happens in movies the way it does now, because it is that crazy. Because, literally, who does that? Who asks somebody they've never met to watch their kids? Who the fuck is like, oh, like, I know you just moved here, so here's a picture of your house. Like, okay? Like, this shouldn't even be a conversation. Like, you block this bitch and you move on because there is no other option. Like, there are no other thought processes. Entertaining this for as long as you have is just enabling her behavior. And maybe she's just an awkward person. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. Maybe she is just an awkward fucking person. Like, she might be socially awkward, and this might just, as weird as it sounds, might be her way of, you know, trying to make friends. As weird and scary and psychotic as it is, but maybe it is. Still, it's not, if it's not for you, which it obviously seems not to be, block her and move on. Forget the fucking small town drama. Alright, on to the next one. I stepped out of my marriage and now don't know how to feel now. Advice? It's called divorce. Because if you stepped out in your marriage, what other fucking options do you have besides marriage counseling? And if you don't know how you feel, that obviously means that you don't want to be with them anymore. So, divorce. I got married in high school. It was pretty much a forced marriage because I was pregnant. We done the life of marriage, and I see how mean he was and so careless, so I stayed to have like a fuck buddy with somebody, and it lasted for years. I was getting what I needed from this guy and not my husband. I started to develop feelings for my fuck buddy when we'd see each other in public. It was like electric. You could feel the feels, literally. I stopped talking to him when we went our own ways. 5 years passed by. I seen him the other day in town, and the way he looked at me made me melt, so I messaged him, and we made plans to see each other. Now remember, when it's a fuck buddy relationship, you don't kiss just to keep the feelings away, you know? So the first thing he does when we see each other is he pulls me in and literally kisses me for, it felt like forever. I melted because he has never kissed me in the years I have known him. Am I overanalyzing this situation, or did he truly miss me as a person? And the stages of my relationship with my husband, is done. It's been done for years, and we are in the process of divorce. I need advice how I should be feeling about this kiss and what it meant. I'm so lost. I just need a moment, because 1, that was kind of a whole ass mess. And 2, I mean, at least divorce is already happening. You're obviously not happy in your relationship, so you left. So you cheated multiple times. 4 years. And I've been in the relationship before. I've been in the relationship where the dude's a fucking asshole. He's mean. He's rude. He's mentally, physically abusive. Like, I have been there. Did I ever cheat that whole time? No, I didn't. I left. Even though I felt terrible. And he tried pressuring me into marriage as well. And he was 15 years older than me. And, we got the marriage certificate. We almost got married. But I, for whatever reason, went with my gut. It was the one thing I stuck to and was like, this doesn't feel right. I'm not getting married to this guy. And I'm thankful I didn't, for one. Even if I was pregnant with his kid at one point. He caused me to have a miscarriage. And I felt so bad about it for so long because I was thinking to myself, while I was pregnant, if I wasn't pregnant, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't stay. And when I had my miscarriage, I felt terrible. I was like, I lost the baby because, I said that if I wasn't pregnant, I would leave, but now I feel too bad to leave. And so I stayed for at least another year and a half because I got pregnant really early on in our relationship. Really early on. And he was only my second serious relationship. So it was a lot. It was a lot of stress. It was a lot of drama. My family was no help. I would call and try to talk to my dad, who would just push me off onto my stepmom, and I would cry to her. And, she's just like, it's going to be okay. And the only advice my dad gave me was, you guys just need to work through your problems. That was his excuse. You need to work through your problems, which for me was code, I don't want you to move home. You moved out. Tough shit. You're on your own. Yeah, it was a lot. So for me, cheating was never a thought, despite how unhappy I was. But once I found somebody I was interested in, it kind of gave me enough courage to leave. And I was also able, I also had a friend that I worked with. Her girlfriend at the time brought me a key to their apartment, and she's like, you don't have an excuse anymore. I know what's going on. If you need to have somewhere to go, you can come to my place. And that night I did. I got up, we worked different shifts. We worked at the same place. And he just worked night shift. I worked during the day. I'd gotten home, went into our bedroom, because it was only a 2-bedroom little duplex. Then the other room was filled of RC stuff, RC cars. And I went into the bedroom, changed out of my work clothes, pulled my pants down along with my underwear, because I did it all at once, changed into my pajama pants, and went and laid out on the couch. And 5 minutes later, he comes out of the bedroom, and he goes, are we not wearing underwear to work anymore? And I kind of stared at him. Like, I'm 19 years old. And I stared at this man, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, you weren't wearing any underwear when... Or sorry, no, I was 20 years old. I had just turned 20. Like, I was, like, a few months shy of having turned 20. And he's just like, well, when you took off your pants, you weren't wearing any underwear. I thought he was asleep, for one. So that was, like, a really creepy, unnerving feeling that he had been watching me while I changed. Like, even though we were in the same room. We'd slept together multiple times. We'd seen each other naked. Having that happen was the craziest and most, like, really unnerving thing for me. And he, and I'm just like, no. I'm like, I took them off with my pants. Like, I guess I'm talented like that. And he goes, whatever, you fucking whore. And he went into the bathroom to go to the bathroom. And I stood up, and I remember I got up off the couch, and I stood in the middle of the living room. And I took off my ring, and I put it on the little table that was by where his rocking chair was. And it's like, I remember, like, just my heart beating, like, my heart, like, dropped into my stomach, and I was just kind of like, oh my fucking God, like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna fucking leave. And he comes out of the bathroom, and he's standing there, and he goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm fucking leaving. And he goes, you're not fucking going anywhere. And I'm like, no, yeah, I am. And I grabbed my keys, I grabbed my purse, and I slipped on some shoes, and I just darted out the door, got into the car, and left. I called my friend, the coworker that had given me the spare keys, and I just started bawling. Like, I'm on my way over, like, I'm crying, and she's like, and she's like, it's okay. She's like, you can come over. She's like, and I'll cry with you. And she's like, or I'll sit here awkwardly while you cry. And that made me laugh. And then while I was on my way, because I lived like 30 minutes away from where I worked, and he texted me, and this was before I had a smartphone. This was right around the time that smartphones were coming out, like, to show my age. And he texted me, and he's like, I'm not going to sit here and blow up your phone. And, you know, I just want you to know that I'm sorry, and I love you. I didn't say anything, obviously. Because I'm like, to me, I'm like, I'm done. I have nothing to say to you. Like, I'm not going to say anything right now anyway. I'm too stressed out. So I get to her place, knock on her door, and she opens the door. And it was such a weird whole situation. I look at her, and I go, I'm not wearing any underwear. And she goes, oh, honey, it's okay. And, you know, we came in, we sat down, I explained what had happened, and she's just like, it's going to be okay. She's like, we will figure something out. And so then he texted me again, and he goes, will you at least let me know that you're okay? Because, to be fair, I had hit a deer at one point with my previous car. So, I mean, I kind of understand where that was coming from now. But at the time, I was just like, I have nothing. I, finally was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not going to do this. So I texted him. I go, I have nothing to say to you. I'm like, we're done. I will be by sometime to get my things. And yeah, that whole conversation, or that whole text that he sent about, I'm not going to blow up your phone, that was a fucking lie. Calls, text messages, picture messages. My phone was being blown up so badly. One, I had to turn it off. Like, even the vibration of it was bad. Like, it was constantly going off. And then when I turned my phone on the next day, I couldn't even use it for a majority of the day because it was taking so long and lagged my phone of the pictures, voicemails, and text messages that I got from him just over that night. It was crazy and ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, I did not mean to go off on that whole ass tangent and talk about that. But on here, back to our main little rant story here. You stepped out of your marriage. You're getting a divorce. Honestly, I think it's just time to move on and not focus about the fuck buddy and that kiss. Like, if you want to continue talking to them, you want to continue, having casual intercourse with them, go for it. You know, obviously you're a free woman now, so, I mean, go for it. If it comes down to it where the kisses continue, I mean, sit down and fucking talk to him. Sit down and be like, hey, look, what does this mean? And go from there. All right, on to the next one. My boss hit my car. What should I do? Contact your insurance and his insurance. That's what the fuck you do. What can I do about this? Wednesday, when I was at work, my boss's husband claimed that he couldn't stop because of the brakes and hit my car. I'll include the picture of it if I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's totaled or not. The people hasn't came and looked at it yet. Well, anyways, we made a report, etc. Her insurance had called us. My boss's husband. Okay. Sorry. Some of these questions that get sent in are not thought through. Sometimes they're not, you know, they're the first person, the OP that has sent in the question, their, you know, original form of language is not English. So let me reread this. What can I do about this? Wednesday, when I was at work, my boss's husband claimed that he couldn't stop because of the brakes and he hit my car. I'll include pictures of it. I'm not sure if it's totaled or not. The people haven't came and looked at it yet. Well, anyways, we made a report, etc. Her insurance had called us and said he was trying to get in touch with the man that hit my car and he wouldn't answer the phone just to give approval to give us a rental car. Just a simple yes. We have 2 kids. Well, my boss said he apparently called him 3 times yesterday, but when I had called that man back, he said that they never called back. I've been telling my boss, you need to call them. I need a car just in case something happens because I've got kids. What should I do? I mean, the only thing you can do is keep going through your insurance for one. It's not a great situation to be in. Like, that's a very, very fucking awkward situation to be in. Like, your boss hits your car and then they're not doing anything about it. That's, for one, that's just shitty. Anybody who does that to anybody is, that's just a shitty thing to do anyway. The only thing I would suggest you do is, if you can, lawyer up. You know, start telling, you know, lawyer up, tell them what's going on. And if your boss has a lawyer, which they may or may not, tell them that anything in regards to the incident needs to be spoken about through the lawyers. Like, if he has something that he needs to tell you about it, be like, nope, talk to my lawyer about it. Have everything go through the lawyer, or tell them to text you so, one, you have physical proof of what they've said. Or if you can, so if you are in the United States and you live in a state where it is a one-sided, like, okay to record people type of thing. I'm dropping on the word. Like a one-sided consent kind of state where, like, you only need to know that you're recording, like, the other person doesn't need to know. Record the conversation. Like, record what they say, so that way, like, if they say anything incriminating, it's not your word against them when you eventually go to court, because that's how it sounds like it's going. There is no picture, so I'm assuming it was either in the comments or something like that, but that's kind of all I can say about that one, is if it keeps going that way, go through a lawyer, try to get as much stuff down in text as possible, so that way you see what the fuck's going on, so that way it's not like, so that way, you know, it's not your word against theirs if you have to go to court. And the only other thing I can say is, anytime that they come up to you and try to talk about it, be like, call the insurance company. Call the insurance company, because they're telling me that you haven't talked to them at all and you won't answer your phone. So I don't have anything to say to you until you get this shit figured out on your end. If it's about work, that's fine. If it's about the car accident, talk to insurance. All right, on to the next one, I think. Okay, making sure I didn't accidentally skip one. Why does my daughter favor my mom over me? Well, depending on age of daughter, it could just be because your mom lets her get away with more shit. Honestly. Due to certain circumstances, my 4-year-old and I live with my parents, and my daughter is constantly favoring my mom over me. She never wants me to do anything for her when my mom is around. It honestly really hurts my feelings because it's only when my mom is around that she treats me differently. Am I overreacting? Is anyone else's child like this with their grandparents? Dude, all children are like this with their grandparents. Seriously. Like, when we go and hang out with my in-laws, my son wants, like, me to do nothing. It's like, oh, like, I want this. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll get you some. And he'll just stand up. He'd be like, no, I want Mama to do it. Like, sit down, bitch. I don't give a shit about you. Mama's here. It's literally how it is. Like, kids are like that because their grandparents get to spoil them. Now, I understand it is a different situation for you because you currently live with your parents. Your kid doesn't give a crap. They're still like, oh, my grandma's here. Grandma loves me. And not saying that you don't love her, but it's like, oh, grandma's here. Grandma will let me get away with shit. Because that's what grandparents are supposed to do. They're supposed to let their grandkids get away with shit, even when the parents are right there. So yeah, it's not you. You are overreacting a little bit, but that's because you don't know. Like, and I'm here to tell you, it's okay. It's completely okay. It's just because it's grandma. And, you know, like, she's 4. So she probably, depending on how long you have lived with your parents, you know, it sounds like this is a relatively new thing. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. It doesn't really lean one way or another. Like, I'm not getting one vibe or another. Like, this is new. You just moved in with your parents rather than, like, always have lived with your parents, which either one is okay. I completely understand. Their circumstances suck ass sometimes. But I have done this. I have lived with my in-laws, and it's always like, oh, like, I want, you know, grandma to do this. Or I want grandma to do that. Like, I don't want you to do it. And it's fine. It happens. Like, shit happens. Don't worry about it. For one, breathe. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because once you move out, it's going to be back to you. You will have to do everything. And you will hear the name mom so much that you'll sit there and go, I want to change my fucking name. I just want to change my fucking name. Like, I have been through that. Like, I have heard mommy or mom so many times in one day that I've looked over at my husband and been like, I'm going to change my fucking name. Like, I'm no longer mom. I'm Zool. Because I'm fucking tired of hearing mom. Like, just for one day, I just want to hear something else. Alright. How would this make you feel? How would you feel if your husband didn't tell you that he was going out with friends the day after your anniversary? We were supposed to go out the day of and stay at a hotel while my mom had his kids. But now he said it's just going to be a day date because his friends is about to have a baby and they want to take him out the day after our anniversary. I'm feeling salty because I was looking forward to a night out and now I only get a day. And he didn't tell me until last minute, even though he knew. One, this kind of sounds like a lot of the men that we hear off of this Facebook page. Guys don't really, a lot of guys, I'm not saying all guys, a lot of guys don't think about this kind of thing as much as us women do. Or us more feminine type do. It's, you know, like, oh, like, and to be fair, even on my end, like, a whole last night, like, as amazing as it sounds, and amazing as it is, to not have the kids for a whole night and just be able to worry about, like, one another, that's an amazing feeling. Like, hands down, that is a great feeling. To not have to worry about, like, putting the kids to bed or getting up with them in the middle of the night. Like, mine has night terrors every once in a while. It's not as bad as when he was little. They still happen. But to not have to worry about the kids for a whole last night and just get to worry about each other, that is an amazing feeling. But at the same time, yeah, I can understand, like, obviously he's been in this situation before. It sounds like he has kids, but you don't have kids together. So you may not completely get it. But it's definitely one of those things where you it's a weird feeling knowing that a baby is coming and soon, like, what freedom you do have is soon going to be gone because baby's going to keep you up. You know, not all babies sleep through the night the first, you know, like, right away. It takes a lot. Like, my kid, I tried breastfeeding when he was born, and one, that was fucking crazy and hard. And two, it was rough. Like, he was up every, like, 2.5 hours, and I slept like shit after he was born. I was constantly getting up, I was constantly checking on him in the crib, and then eventually I just started co-sleeping, and that started a whole avalanche of other problems. But it was nice because he'd be right there. Like, if he woke up, I could immediately soothe him. I didn't have to worry about him, like, waking up my husband. I didn't have to worry about him waking up the kids down the hall. It was like, okay, like, baby, right here, I can get shit together. We're all good. But yeah, so I mean, like, I get where she's coming from. Like, it's a nice retreat from the kids. Like, you just get to worry about you and them. But it's like, at the same time, what are you gonna do for a whole fucking day and night for an anniversary? And maybe you are the type of people that have shit to do. Me, I'm the kind that I'm like, hey, let's have your parents watch the kids, and let's go home and play video games and, you know, order shitty ass food that we never get to order because we don't want to share with the kids, and or stuff that we never get to eat because they don't like that stuff. And then let's go watch a completely rated R movie that we have no business watching with kids around, and then go to bed. So, like, because it happens after your anniversary, it doesn't happen on the day that you guys are doing anything. Like, it sounds like the only thing you're missing out on is going to sleep without kids. Which it sounds like you'll still be able to do. It just, your husband's going to be up the next day. So I guess I don't understand what the situation is. Like, he's still doing stuff with you for your anniversary. Like, that's amazing. Like, consider yourself lucky. There are a lot of people that don't do shit for one another for their anniversary. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I can't really necessarily see anything wrong with it. Like, and I'm sure there's other things being left out that are making me see the whole story, which I get, that happens a lot. But, like, from the basis of what I'm seeing, like, you're still doing something. Enjoy the time that you have. Because that's really all any of us have, is time. Just enjoy it. Alright, I think we might be able to get in one, maybe two more. It depends on how hype I get about it. How can I get my kids interested in reading? I'm going to start off right now. Don't force your kids to read. If they want to read, they will read. I was that kid. I hated reading as a kid. And then I discovered Harry Potter when I was 11 years old. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in an episode already. I started reading when I was 11 years old. I came across the first Harry Potter book that my aunt had sent me when I was 9. So it had been 2 years previous. And I just got into reading it. And then I just fell in love. And I was reading everything and everything. Yes, we have talked about this. We have talked about the V.C. Andrews things before. I was reading books I had no business reading. I read all the Lord of the Rings books. I read all the Cirque du Freak books. I started reading V.C. Andrews. Like, I had no business reading V.C. and nobody has business reading V.C. Andrew books at the age of 13. And I was reading them at, like, 12, 13. I'm pretty sure I was still in middle school when I started reading these books. Yeah, when I was, like, a little kid, I hated reading. I was like, I want to play, I want to watch TV, I want to dance and listen to music. Like, I don't want to read. Little did little me know how amazing reading is, though. Like, all for you for trying to get your kid to do something that's fun, but don't push it. It's just going to make them want to do it even less. How can I get my kids interested in reading? I love to read, and I want to instill this in them as they get older. I'm about to flip this fucking iPad. They are only 6 months old. Side note, I know they cannot read right now, but I want them to have a love of reading as they get older. I'm gonna fucking throw something. I gotta take my glasses off. I need a moment. They're fucking 6 months old. They can't read. Shit, they don't even know what reading is. All they know is pretty colors and mommy's boobs if they're breastfed. Or then they know bottles and pacifiers and shit in their diapers. They can't read. If you want to instill a love for reading for them, the only thing you fucking buy them then is those squishy fucking baby books that they fucking chew on and not damage. Like, read to them then. Read to them all the time. Instead of fucking, like, doing lullabies and shit with them, do fucking audiobooks. Do some of your audiobooks. Like, if you, like, let's say Harry Potter for one. Fucking let them listen to Harry Potter. Let them listen to fucking Lord of the Rings. Like, I don't know. Don't let them become tablet babies. Like, I don't know how else to fucking, I guess, get that across. Like, they're 6 months old. You literally will help form them. Like, I'm thinking that you've, like, fucked up the first, like, 6 years of their life, and they don't have an interest in reading. Read to them every night. Make it something that you do together. But 6 months old, bitch, this is way too fucking early. This is, every time, every fucking Mom Monday, there is at least one goddamn question or story that just, I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm. God bless America. Okay, sorry. I'm so angry about this. They're 6 months old. Try and dial it back for a second. They're 6 months old. They don't give a shit about reading. They're 6 months old. You know, as they continue, like, read little books. Like, find, like, I don't know if they're still a thing, but the little golden books, if anybody, maybe I'm showing my age on this again, you know, if anybody knows what the fuck that is, little golden books. They have books of all ages to start out for, like, as toddlers and all that other stuff. Start with little short books. Stuff that they like if they get into superheroes. If you have, like, you know, if your kids get into superheroes, they have 5-minute storytime books. I know you can buy them at Walmart where it's like a thick-ass book, and they're literally 5-minute stories. They involve, like, usually a good chunk of superheroes. Like, I know there's one that I have where it's 5-minute stories. They also have them for Disney. They have, like, Lion King, they have Disney princesses, all that kind of shit. Yeah, like, get them into stuff like that early on. Like, but, I mean, 6 months old, I understand. The next 6 months are gonna fly by. Because honestly, probably the last 6 months for you have flown by. So, I get it. I think I jumped off the handle a little early. But, yeah, they're 6 months old. There's not really a whole lot you can do right now. Play audiobooks, play other kinds of shit that they will like for them when they're falling asleep or taking a nap. Like, that's kind of all you can do. That is going to be our last one because I don't think I can handle another question after that one. Thank you to everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know somebody who likes my content, feel free to send me their way in a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or, you know, any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description below. Just look for my cute little avatar that you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch y'all next time. Bye! That was a lot. That fucking last question. Alright. And once again, I can't fucking remember. This one? I was right first time. Oh, I should have left that up. I always forget about it. Always. Do. I really need to find a better place to put these. Ooh. Monday. Noon. And bam, just like that, we are done with this week's for scheduling. Hooray! Bam. Kabam. Oof. Don't fall. I didn't mean to throw you all the way over there. Okay. Alright, well, I guess that's the end of this one. I thought it was actually kind of fun. I will probably do the skin at some point. I actually enjoyed it. Doing it with TikTok as well was actually kind of fun. Despite the weird and dumbass questions I got. I'm pretty sure it's just trolls, so if I'm recording, I'm not exactly answering your guys' questions, which I understand is probably shitty, weird, sorry, but the podcast kind of comes first. I'm just doing this as an addition to, and hopefully you guys liked it. All right, bye.